Hi everybody and welcome back to the 75th season of Bearcat Update. I'm your host Jason Holland and today we'll be updating you on how the seasons are looking for our fall sports. From football's dominant rebound to women's basketball's hot start to the season, and all during our soccer special. Cue the intro. The Bearcat football team took on the Northeastern State Riverhawks yesterday in a game that was not as friendly to be at as most games this year. The on and off showers and 50-degree weather made for a gritty battle, but the boys shined on special teams, with junior running back Dom Myers accounting for 169 all-purpose yards in the return game. 119 yards coming in the way of punt returns and a 50-yard touchdown. Adding to that mark puts Myers third all-time in Bearcat history for single-game return yards. The Cats will travel south to take on Missouri Western next Saturday. For more on the rainy game, we send it over to our producer, Killian Beck. Take it away, Killian.
On Saturday, the Bearcat football team returned from its bye week in a rainy 44-26 beatdown of the Northeastern State Riverhawks. Northwest entered the day 4-4 after a heartbreaking homecoming loss to the Central Missouri Mules. It was Captain Jaden Brady with a massive day on the ground as he pulled away with scores from 27 and 1 yard out. Quarterback Chris Runke navigated the rain to post 3 passing touchdowns and put one of his cleanest games on film. Despite the conditions, the Bearcats got down to business as they put themselves to 5-4 on the season as they vie for a bowl game. The Bearcats aren't down and out. They've suffered some tough losses this year, but as we all know, the Bearcats are going to be Bearcats. They'll take on Missouri Western next week as they look to uphold their 28 consecutive winning season streak. I'm Killian Beck and this has been Bearcat Update.
Heads are still raised high after a short 3-game skid for the Bearcat volleyball team. After 2 matches that saw the Cats not win a single set, the girls in green battled hard on Wednesday in a 5-set thriller as they welcomed Emporia State to Bearcat Arena. Newcomer Abby Boltis showed glimpses of hope after securing 12 kills in the first start of her college career. The Cats fell just short, losing the 5th set 13-15, and look to get back to their winning ways Friday against Missouri Southern. Staying on the topic of the volleyball, we send it over to our reporter Zac Scott as he sits down with senior outside hitter Peyton Kirchhoefer. Over to you, Zac.
Welcome back to Tenacity, the show where we keep you up to date with everything Bearcat volleyball. Last week we talked with Kristen Ford about Northwest's winning streak. Today we'll talk with senior outside hitter Peyton Kirchhoefer about Northwest's rough week.
We definitely had some struggles in the Washburn game. They swept us. It wasn't a great game for us as a team. We need to work on our passing just a little bit, but I think we bounced back pretty well against Emporia, especially getting that first set after not winning a set for 2 straight games. So it was a nice bounce back. We'd love to just be able to finish a game and put a whole game together.
Despite the last 3 unfortunate games versus the likes of Missouri Western, Washburn, and Emporia, Kirchhoefer keeps her eyes forward on the Bearcats' next opponent, Missouri Southern. But with all these continuous games, how does Kirchhoefer keep getting back up?
It's definitely all thanks to our strength coaches who helped me get in shape, especially in the summer. I came back from a shoulder injury, so I was a little bit out of shape, but just we practice. I play 6 rows at practice every single day, so that helps out a lot, but just continually getting those reps playing all around helps.
Kirchhoefer has been excellent in Amy Worth's game plan for this season. With 5 years of play under the Bearcat volleyball team, you can find that Kirchhoefer is looked up to while still looking up to her teammates.
I definitely look up to all of the girls in my class. It's kind of hard to look up to people as a 5th year, but you still can. They're all great people. I've been with them for 5 years and seen how much they've grown, and I really just want to be more like each and every one of them, just a little aspect of them. And then hopefully some of the younger girls would look up to me. I really like to help them out as much as I can, especially being one of the oldest outsides. I kind of try to take them under my wing and be like, hey, you got this shot. We had a freshman play this week and she started with me and I was like trying to talk to her through the game, like, you got this next one, keep swinging. So just kind of try and take them under my wing as much as I can.
As Kirchhoefer's final year of Bearcat volleyball approaches, Kirchhoefer herself looks back on her 5 years of play, trying to pinpoint which was truly the favorite year of her career.
Every team, I love them in a different way. So there's definitely not been a favorite team out of all of them. I think that it being my 5th year, this team is a little bit more sentimental to me. This is the team that I will play with for the last time. But there have been moments throughout the years that have winning conference being one of them. That was a great season. Going to regionals a couple years. So if I could get maybe a conference win or going to regionals again this year, just be the cherry on top.
Now, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching, and I'm sending it back to you, Jason.
The Bearcat women's basketball team has started the season hot with 2 hard-fought victories. After defeating Livin' the Dream in an exhibition match Monday, the Cats traveled to St. Joe for the D2 CCA Tip-Off Classic yesterday. The Cats took on number 5 ranked Ashland Eagles in a game that was sure to show the Cats' true colors. Strong performances from seniors Kaylee Keston and Kelsey Fields drove the Cats to their first top 5 victory since 2009. The Cats look to continue their hot start today against Texas Women's. Good luck, ladies. Make sure to stick around as we get into our soccer frenzy after this short break.
Unlike other organizations on and around campus, here, the students do it all.
KNWT is a student-run and student-produced television station.
To support this content, you can go to our YouTube channel at KNWT Channel 8.
And watch the latest shows or even enjoy blasts from the past.
Stay on top of current events and the biggest stories of the week with Northwest News.
Welcome back to Northwest News. I'm Skyler Stamps.
And I'm Wiley Ray.
Get all the latest news coverage and updates about Northwest, the Maryville community.
The Bearcat soccer team welcomed the 20th ranked Washburn Ichabods to Bearcat pitch on Friday. The offense couldn't seem to get it going in this one as they were outshot 16-6 and none on goal in the second half. Junior goalkeeper Lily Ellis always makes sure to provide light even in darkest times as her all-time save count jumped to 260 after this one. More on the Bearcat standout goalkeeper after our reporter Skyler Stamps recaps last Sunday's game. Take it away, Skyler.
The Northwest women's soccer team was in action last Sunday on the Bearcat pitch as they took on Pittsburgh State. Our sideline reporter Raina Wozniak has more.
Thanks, Skyler. I'm Raina Wozniak. Northwest comes in this game with a lot of momentum falling all the way back to September 25th. Pitt State lost their last game to top-ranked Missouri Western just 1-0 in the 75th minute. This should be a great game on the Bearcat pitch.
Thanks, Raina. In the first half, Northwest controlled the tempo, keeping the ball on the Gorillas' side for a majority of the half. Northwest was inches away from taking the lead with this shot by McKenna West in the 31st minute that hit off the goal post. Both teams were able to get 3 shots on goal, but no goals were scored in the first half. At the end of the first 45 minutes, the score remained knotted at 0-0. As the second half started, it seemed like the momentum shifted in the Gorillas' favor. The Bearcats struggled to get the offense rolling and seemed to have trouble controlling and passing the ball as the second half continued. In the 56th minute, Pitt State's Sailor Jensen was able to sneak the ball past Lily Ellis on a perfect corner kick by McKenna Robinson. That score would put the Gorillas up 1-0. The Bearcats were unable to put together enough offense to match the Pitt State goal, and at the end of 90 minutes, the Gorillas escaped the Bearcat pitch with a 1-0 win. The post-game stats looked almost identical as the Bearcats and Gorillas battled to the end, with the Pitt State goal in the 56th minute being the ultimate difference. After the game, our sideline reporter Raina Wozniak caught up with Northwest head coach Mark Gordon with his thoughts on the game.
After this tough loss tonight, didn't go quite the Bearcat way that we wanted to. What are your thoughts about how the game happened?
I feel like consequences of missing some early opportunities, a really good save by a goalkeeper in a one-on-one. You know, I told the team in our breakdown huddle that you know, the ball's 1 inch the other way, it hits the post and goes in. It just hit it in the right spot and came out, and so it's, you know, it's a cliche, but, you know, everybody says it's a game of inches, and not only our game, but others, and it's just unfortunate. They were a very tough team defensively to break down.
Reyna also spoke with junior goalkeeper Lily Ellis on what it will take to win against Emporia State.
If you guys play Emporia State next Saturday, with things that happened today, are there some key things that you guys could pick out and help win next week?
Absolutely. I think today we didn't move the ball as well as we needed to, and that's going to be really important moving into next weekend. So we'll just kind of hammer that at practice, get some repetitions in, and build our confidence for the next weekend.
The Bearcats look to defend their home turf today against the Emporia State Hornets. Reporting for Bearcat Update, I'm Skyler Stamps.
Aforementioned standout goalkeeper Lily Ellis has been a stronghold for the soccer team this entire year, and the successes on the pitch does justice to the amount of work she puts in off it. First team All MIAA and All Region honors, MIAA Goalkeeper of the Year, 2 Goalkeepers of the Week, and her subtle climb into the top 4 all-time in saves for the Bearcats have earned her leadership status for not only the soccer team, but for the Bearcat athletics as a whole. Ellis currently sits at 260 all-time saves, a little over 100 away from the all-time mark, which she will look to break in her last year of eligibility next year. To get to know a little more about Lily and her time here at Northwest, we send it over to our reporter, Jake Walker. Take it away, Jake.
Welcome to a very special episode of Bearcat Update. For this interview, we're stepping away from the cheer team and taking a look at one of our soccer players.
My name is Lily Ellis. I'm a junior. I am studying applied health exercise science, and I am a goalkeeper.
Despite starting the sport at a later age than most, Lily has proven that she has earned the right to perform at the collegiate level.
I started playing soccer when I was around 10 or 12. I got into it a bit later than everyone else did. Usually when you start playing soccer, you're like 4 years old or so. So I started playing on a rec league in my hometown when I was 12. And then what led me to Northwest was a little different than other people. I would say that I came here first for just academics. I actually was committed to another school previously, and with COVID that just kind of fell apart, so I was drawn here with academics in mind. Once I got here, I wanted to play soccer again, so I reached out to Mark, and he was so kind to let me come back on the team, and that's how I got here.
Being a goalkeeper, Lily walks us through what it takes to be good at what may be the hardest position in the sport.
It's a hard position mentally and physically. I would say more mental. I have to have a strong mind every game, knowing that I could get scored on, knowing that it could potentially be my fault that we lose the game. So I would say that is a very hard part of it. I also have to be a leader on the field. Being a goalkeeper, you are kind of one of the biggest leaders on the field. You can see everything in the game, and so it's important that I bring positive attitude to every single game.
With the sport of soccer being an important part of her life, Lily walks us through her plans to stick around in the sport after her time at Northwest is concluded.
I would definitely want to be in the sport of soccer for definitely the remainder of my life. I had ambitions to play professional the past 3 years I've been here, but I have set my eyes on different targets, so I think I would still want to be very much involved in soccer, whether that's coaching, like you said, or playing in adult leagues and stuff like that.
With game time starting in a short while, Lily lets us in on what she expects from Emporia State.
Yeah, this Sunday is going to be a tough game. Historically, Emporia's been really good. Again, they have graduated a few girls that have been historically very good for them. So this year they're a little different. I would say for us, we just need to bring intensity. We need to bring heart to the game. We need to play the full 90 and just play the soccer that we know we can play.
That is all the time we have with Lily today. All of us at Bearcat Update wish her and her team the best of luck.
We're going to shift gears here for a bit after this short break. Wiley Ray and Jackson Phelps of X106.7 are going in-depth on soccer's postseason outlook and the players they believe will be the Cats' best shot at postseason success. Stick around to find out.
Here Tower Yearbook, we are a dedicated staff of photographers, designers, copywriters, and practicum students.
Our staff is a student-led, student-run media outlet, producing a book with over 300 pages. Be sure to pop out at any of our portrait or distribution events.
So stay tuned to our social media to see what's up.
Are you sick and tired of not knowing enough about life's trickiest questions and need answers now? Well, introducing Now You Know, your place to learn everything about anything with our host, the studious Alexander Snodderly.
You can count on me.
And if you call now, we'll even include our co-host, Katie Bird, as she talks one-on-one with viewers like you. Thanks, Katie Bird. Catch us Wednesdays at noon on KNWT TV.
Now you know!
Welcome to BC with the X. I'm Wiley Ray. With me, as always, Jackson Phelps. And Jackson, you know, unfortunately, it's raining outside, so we're here in the studio and not out at Bearcat pitch. But the team, nonetheless, is still competing tonight to go 8-4-6 on the season as they look to play Emporia State. And what has been a really good season for the Bearcat soccer team.
You know, it really has, Wiley. This season has, you know, opened my eyes a lot for this soccer program. They're building, they're getting a lot of recruits to come in. They're definitely building off of, you know, last couple of years. 7-4-6 right now, you just mentioned going 8-4-6 is the goal today against Emporia. You know, this team is really good. Some really good ties I've seen. Number 2 in the nation, Grand Valley State, to open it up, and then number 15, Minnesota State. That little, like, 2 days there where they had to play some of the tougher teams in the country, and going out and tying those, I'd say that's a win for our team in the book. But, you know, this team has the talent there. You know, they have great players, great chemistry. They were there last year with each other. I think this team is really good.
Yeah, and, you know, don't even forget about that number 5 tie against Central Missouri. I mean, this team has 6 ties on the season, and you know, that's a lot of people will sit there and kind of look at those as losses. But when you look at who they've competed against, who they've tied with, those are almost wins. And so when you just look at the Bearcats and how they've played, you know, it really has helped kind of solidify their spot as we get closer to the MIAA tournament. But Jackson, you know, as we get to the end of the season, who's your regular season MVP for Northwest?
My regular season MVP has got to be Ekaterina Theoharidis. She has definitely shined this whole year. 17 games played. She has 8 goals on the year, 4 assists. That accounts for 20 points total as the year goes. Definitely one of the best as well. You know, her, Jimena Arnau, shout out, she went to my high school, so great to see her doing well too. So definitely those two, but I think Ekaterina has that, you know, in the book. You know, she's played so well. She's a great leader on the pitch, and I think she's the predominant factor for this year for the Bearcats.
Yeah, and when you look at another big leader on this team, Lily Ellis is a big name. And just look at the shots she's faced. Has been 23. She's had 12 saves and 4 goals allowed. That's a season high. Yeah. But, you know, just looking at some of the stats, you know, she's really just had a great season for Northwest with doing a good job of savings, 102 saves on the season, and really has just had a lot of opportunities to help put the Bearcats in a good position defensively. And, you know, last year she's MIAA goalkeeper of the year, and so that really is just something to look at as you get into this postseason, as you have weapons like Theoharidis and Ellis, and so, you know, that really is something crazy for Northwest Missouri State. But more about Theoharidis, we're going to send it over to our reporters Jaden, Varner, and Reece Hill. Over to you, boys.
The Northwest soccer team has been enjoying a very solid season, sitting at a 7-4-6 record heading into today's regular season finale against Emporia State. Sophomore forward Ekaterina Theoharidis has been a rising star for the Bearcats this year, paying off an increase in playing time with excellent performances leading the team in goals, assists, and points. Theoharidis credits her individual growth and success on the pitch to the culture and sisterhood created by her teammates.
This being my second year at Northwest, I've definitely grown as a leader, and I think it was rooted in just the team culture. This team is very welcoming and we all work for each other, so it's very easy to want to grow as a player and a person for this team, not only for yourself. So I think I definitely grew just because I'm surrounded by amazing girls, and you know, this is a very competitive environment, and every day I come here and want to grow even more.
As a decorated high school athlete, winning all state honors and leading Liberty North to a state championship her senior year, Theoharidis had more than a few options for where to take her talents in college, but says the level of competition and the environment around the team and school here at Northwest is what ultimately sold her on coming to Maryville.
I was always keeping my options open. I was giving every school a chance. I think Northwest, the environment that this place holds, it's so encouraging and just super competitive as well. I'm a very competitive person, so I think coming here and seeing how the athletics were kind of held up here was very inspiring. Other schools that I was looking at, they just didn't have the vibe that I was wanting. And I think talking to Coach was a huge thing and asking how he thought the team got along, and I didn't want any drama, anything that was too toxic. He explained that the girls were best friends, and that just really sparked my interest because I knew that I was going to come and have a lot of my time spent here on the team, at practices, at training, so I wanted to make sure that the environment was super fun, super competitive, and super happy.
While the recognition and individual success is enjoyed, Theoharidis prefers when the whole team is able to enjoy success.
Soccer is a team sport, so yes, it's super cool that I am getting different recognitions and stuff, but I'm always just here for the goodness of the team and the success of the team, so I think I just go out there and do my best, and obviously scoring is super fun and definitely a goal of mine, so I go out there, play my game, and hope that it goes in our favor, my favor type deal, and so I think the success is definitely the most resonating when the whole team is successful.
Thank you, Jaden and Reece. And now, Jackson, as we get into the end of the regular season and move on to postseason, we were talking about this here during the pack that the top 8 teams make it. And when you look at that, Missouri Western sits 9-0-2 in conference, and then at the 8th spot, it would be Nebraska Kearney with a conference record of 3-4-3, with Pitt State, Emporia State, Rogers State, Missouri Southern, and Newman kind of sitting in the bottom 5 of that conference. But as you look at this 8-team spread who are looking to make the playoffs, Northwest sits 5th. Mm-hmm. And we talked about how the higher seeds for the first round, they host it, and so we were kind of talking about what does Northwest need to do to make that happen, to host the first round of the MIAA tournament.
Well, first you got to take it one day at a time. Today, go get your win at Bearcat Pitch against Emporia. Get that last win before the season ends. Going into the tournament, the hopes to get votes to host a game. So, definitely you got to have some teams lose today as well to get the spot to host here. So. Taking it one day at a time, wait for the rankings to come out, see if you get the host, but go out today, win the game, and then when it comes to postseason time, the thing that needs to happen the most is goalkeeping. Lily Ellis needs to shine like she always does. Whenever you don't allow goals, it gives your team an opportunity to score goals, and I think at the MIAA tournament, I don't know if they do shootouts or not because, a team does need to advance. So as long as Lily Ellis does her thing, which she has been all year long, I think the Bearcats have a great fair coming out, and especially with Theoharidis and are now out there on the pitch as well. They have the pieces. They got to go out and get a win today, but I think that this team has great potential.
Yeah, we talked about the record at the beginning of our segment, 7-4-6, looking to be 8-4-6. And you just kind of put into perspective how this season overall has went for the Bearcats. I mean, the 4 losses, those hurt, especially the last 2 games being a loss to both Pittsburgh State and the number 20 Washburn. So you do kind of go 0-1-3 on the top 25 rankings for that. But they're still not bad losses. 0-1, or 1-0, I should say, to Pittsburgh State, and then 2-0 to number 20 Washburn. Right. And so you just put those games into perspective, and then coming up today, where the team right now currently is in kickoff, it just really kind of sits there and paints a picture for the Bearcats to help them have a good postseason, and then with the hopes of possibly making the Division II postseason as well.
Bouncing off that, going off against teams like Washburn, Pitt State, that number 5 tie against Central Missouri, they're not bad losses as well. Against Pitt State, it was an 0-1 loss, 0-2 loss against Washburn. There's no losses in there where it really opens my eyes against MIAA opponents to where it's like, wow, they're getting blown out. No, they actually have a chance to step up in there with the playoff lights there, with the hopes of advancing. I think the girls can go out there, actually put some shine on their boots, get some goals, let Lily Ellis cook, just like everything that needs to happen for the Bearcats. I think they have everything they need for the postseason. They got to rely on each other. They've meshed so well throughout the season. Like I said, a lot players from last year coming back this year. So I definitely think with the new transfers, the players, just mesh well, play as a team, have fun. That's the the main goal of everything. Especially in the postseason, you got to rely on each other. So I think the Bearcats have a great shot, especially against some of these tougher MIAA opponents who they've also seen once. That's the thing about the MIAA tournaments. You've already seen these teams, you know what they have, so I think they have a good chance.
Yeah, family's the biggest thing. But that's all the time we have for today. Make sure to tune in next week to find out what you can expect from our basketball teams this year and how the end of the season will shape up for football. Jason, back over to you.
But that's all the time that we have today. I'm your host, Jason Holland, and this has been Bearcat Update, the provider of complete coverage of Northwest sports. We are live every Sunday at 1, and you can find us on YouTube at KNWT TV. Along with Bearcat Update, you can watch KNWT's other content as well. Thank you all for watching, and we'll be back in no time.